let's try it out. Okay. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Right? Okay. Just a little. Maybe this up just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. And I'll try to... Yeah, see, that's too much. How do I crack this code? Maybe it doesn't matter. Okay. Work on this a little bit. Okay, so full disclosure, I worked on this a little bit off stream. Not by much. Just basically added. This has been the progress. So, added. Here, well, let's do a recap. Started here. This is like an initial first sketch of the project. It's a party portrait for a D&D group that a friend of mine has, and it's me putting together different poses. They had these great, yeah, so that's kind of, it's like kind of like this. This is like the approved rough sketch, right? Or was it this? Something like that. And then the inking process. And then filling and coloring. Flats, as they say. But there's some things I want. I'm not in that huge of a hurry. Let me see here. Yeah, okay, so here. This is, what a great resource to have. These sort of like dynamic, so you can see the pose of this character. You can manipulate this 3D to sort of find that. It feels accurate, it feels good. Move my camera in. How cool is that? Okay, and now I can see there's more color variation in the cape there, so that needs to get adjusted. Let's do that. And all I have to do is really take a screenshot. Bring it in here, and that's our handy ref. Nularia. My coloring process doesn't require like perfect color inputs, but the closer the better. So there's no reason for us to bypass a little bit of due diligence. We have the reference here, so let's just take a second and try to do it right. Okay. Might be a quiet Sunday night, so obviously today was Mother's Day. And happy to say everything went well. Mother's Day is fraught with traps. We figured it out. There was the big. I'll just take everybody through it. There was a sleeping in opportunity. That's always nice. Whereas I normally would, how do I delicately put this? My wife is very proactive. So if like the kids express any sort of need, she just sort of jumps on it like it's a grenade that is about to go off, and as a result ends up doing a lot of things that, like, hey, if you just sort of ignored that for a minute, I would have been able to pick that up. And it's true, I'm not a lazy person. Mother's Day, she lets herself actually stop and doesn't throw herself on every grenade. And yeah, it's provided things are not crazy in my life. I don't hesitate to actually take care of what's necessary. So a lot of good productive things happened today. And there were some limiting factors. There was for a couple of days now, there's been a heat wave. It's very difficult to do anything outside right now. Anything serious, at least. Nonetheless, some gardening happened. We made breakfast in bed, as you do. Hash browns, bacon, sunny side up eggs, tea, coffee, all with the help of modern conveniences. What is the color of her sleeve? Oh yeah, it is. Kind of brown. Some metallics. It's interesting. And the metal. It's like, what is the color of metal? But it's interesting. From this, I can tell that the color of this part of her shoulder, it's meant to be the same kind of metal as this part. And then this part as well, which I had missed. So we just got to fill that in. That looks better too. Let's see if the variations say, okay, so interestingly, on the top of her gauntlet, we see those variations, but we don't really see the top of her gauntlet. Not really. But there's some sort of stone at the top of her axe. Looks a little bit like this color. A little more gray and dark, and that's it. There we go. Okay, but got variation. I'm not supposed to, how would we know whether or not this is this fleece? Are these feathers? I think something that feels agnostic to those specifics. But true to character. That looks good. And then here, this is obviously closer than what I had before. So we went to farmer's market. It was too hot to walk there the entire way, so we drove halfway and then walked halfway. And today's the kind of day I don't say no to anything. So kids wanted juice. I said sure. Like whatever, $4 juices and stuff like that. But some damn good juice. That's a funny thing. As a dad, you can buy yourself nothing and live fat off the land of what your children throw away. And it's funny because it's like, I'm hungry and my children are like, Daddy, I want that snack. So I'm like, okay, this is for you. And they take one bite and they're like, ugh, throw this away. And they give it to me to throw away, even though the trash can's closer to them. And I like eat it instead. A trickle of economics. Yes, exactly. So that was the start of the day. And actually that probably was the theme. Maybe a good lesson for life too, whereas normally in my day-to-day, it's just me obsessed about like, how can I save money? How can I say no to things without suffering the consequences? And I'm attempting to diplomatically turn everybody down on their requests. And today I knew better because it's Mother's Day. And so I'm like, okay, spoil the children and my wife by shrinking myself and my concerns so far that they invert. It's like mathematically impossible. It's like the make a black hole blush. But I did it, and ironically, I got everything that I wanted. So I don't know what's going on in the world, but yeah, we ended up going to Universal Studios later in the day after it cooled off, because it was like 100 degrees today. Cooled off. We went to Universal Studios. We actually signed up for like a year pass or whatever like that. It's a fun thing we've been doing because we're so close to it. It's actually a thing where you're like, I don't know, for some people, Universal Studios is like controversial. It's like, oh, it's not as good as Disneyland or something like that. I'm like, yeah, but it's fucking right here. So, you know, it's a no-brainer. They have good food and they switch things up a lot. And like my wife is like a low-key like Trekkie nerd, you know, totally into it. And we walked by this one restaurant. They totally revamped it, and it's like 10 forward. We're like, what the fuck is this? You get like Romulan ale, you know, whatever the hell. And it's like, it wasn't like that last time. So we indulged. There were moments, and went on a few rides. It wasn't that bad today. So I'm glad we did that. You know, I did the little bedtime routine with the kids. Well, not the bedtime routine, but the hard part, which is the bath time routine. They're clean, I'm clean, everybody's clean. And weirdly, everybody's sleeping in their own bed tonight. That never happens. Okay. The colors are correct for this now. So we're going to treat it. Take it to... There we go. Bring it into Photoshop. So this went from not having a due date to like, hey, when are you gonna finish this? It's not like the world's biggest deal, but I'm also, you know, thinking like, hey, I should just get this done, right? So let's save a copy. The wine's been gone for a while. Oh yeah, no, I'm back to owing them. No, it's all good. The wine was slightly controversial, but yeah, weirdly, like it helped fuel a few good streams for sure. A few good streams. It's a great name for a... Anyway. So this will be challenging in a lot of ways because everybody here is like wearing these armors. You know what I mean? So these are materiality concerns. Like obviously we can't get away with some like cosplay cheats. Like the metal needs to look like metal. So there's going to be some learning. I'm gonna be in learnified. Let me make sure this check is looking right. Actually, before I go too far. Yeah, that's mostly right. Okay, there's some things I can improve on here. Anyway, Sextra, thanks for joining. I'm tired, and yet it's here's some good news. Is I know what my week ahead looks like. It's busy, but that's good. I'm not too anxious. Feel good about some things. I did something cool today. I replaced the lock on my front door, which had been giving us shit for a couple weeks now. And it's like you could manually lock it just fine, but it's like it's not like that. It's supposed to be one of those automatic locking, you know, use a code, not a key. So you don't have to dig in your purse or your pocket or whatever. It's been malfunctioning, and I bet it was the heat. Maybe not, but it's been screwy for a little bit, and without any lack of patience, it did not self-correct as I hoped it would. And it fell to me to be the man in the equation. So ultimately I did have to purchase and install a replacement. The purchasing happened a week ago, and then the installing happened today. But nothing wrong with setting a... It's like a... You know, here I'm doing an artistic demo, but today, installing the lock, it was like a manliness demo. I had to do what I had to do. Worked out fine, though. It's just right specifically now, it has a little bit of jank from the... It's interesting. A little bit of jank. It needs a little bit of smoothing. Because it wasn't perfectly... There's a size difference from the old lock to the new lock, and now I have to paint into that difference so that no one can tell that a change has happened. If I can figure that out. There we go. Pretty good. Arctic Wolf, how's your day? It's good. It's Mother's Day in the States. So I have to get started on my graduation project. Plus 15 stress. That's an appropriate analogy because I'm working on a D&D project. Is it like art school graduate project, right? Yeah. Well, you know, you're looking at a animation school dropout right here. It's this guy. That's me. Would have been class of 2001, probably, something like that. Vancouver Film School. Did not graduate. BT dubs. It's a final assignment to make a trailer for my show in a month. Oh boy. Well, good. Do it. Crush it. Crush. Apply your skills. Cost was too much. That's interesting. I remember thinking they had like an accelerated program that felt like it was cheap compared to everything else. It was like 14 months compared to 4 years in other places, but it's not like a I don't know. The reason I went there was because it was quick, but not quick enough for me. I needed to be done with it instantly. Still expensive. You're just poor. No. But the if I could give anybody advice, it's shop around for the best bargain you can for art school, because it's like a scam. It's not like it's like a terrible scam, but it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. It's like, don't go. It's like, not like don't go, but that's not the art is not a gate kept mental resource. You can learn it on your own. Everything's a scam these days. I imagine it's worse now, and don't you can be disheartened by advertising. But dilution, yeah, I believe that. I mean, it was bad in the year 2000, and I can't imagine it's better now. There's more options or whatever, but it's like, every scammer, every big mouth loser who thinks he knows how to be an artist is starting some sort of Twitch channel and trying to teach people how to make art. I mean, come on now. What is the world coming to? There's a limit, of course, yeah. Well, there's no limits. Right here. There's no limits. Oh, I'm kidding. Where are the limits? What's the limits on speed? Right? Maybe it's like that. First, the character designs for your show, done to a degree. All right. Yeah, share anything you feel like it. Or incubate. Incubate a little. No big deal.
All else desire power.
That's interesting. I'll tell you something. Old Maxie. Right about the time when we were going from the learn the basics to start your own project, there was like this little sort of like at about the 4-month mark at VFS, Vancouver Film School. That was the like catch everybody up to the basics. And then it was kind of like, yo, figure out how you want to spend the next 10 months, because that's when you're going to have something to show for this. So what's your thing going to be? And maybe coincidentally, maybe not, that's when I was like, I'm out of here. I don't know. Maybe, maybe I'm envious of everybody who knows what they want. You have an idea, you want to express it. It's a hard thing to know. When you get joke. No, I get it. It's actually funny. It's like, it makes a joke because of the autocorrect. Okay, I'm gonna do maybe a couple of things here. Quick iterative save. mean, what is school? School is sort of like an accountability device. How to use line weight. Oh, good. Oh, yeah, all right. Line weight is important. Kind of. I mean, it is. Helps, I'm glad something clicked. All right, some people are like school people, and I'm not. I'm like I can tap in well to like teachers, but not. Academics has been a problem for me in my life. And some people are the opposite. They're like so tapped into academics that they can't get out. Like, so they're like, I'm just going to keep going back to school, back to school, back to school, back to school. And then never can get into the real world. And you don't want to be that either. You don't want to be, well, I don't know what you want to be, but you'll share some sketches, practicing lightweight. Good. All right. Let me pull them up in my Discord just in case that's what you're doing. Oh, here we go. Shit, that's bright. Damn, the internet is shitty today. I got drop frames. I got slow ass loads. All right, here we go. Okay, no, I like this. Can I bring it on stream? Too late. No, they are. I like what you did. It's a when you take advantage of line weight, it's like viewers they desperately want to understand without difficulty. Okay. And so using every compositional hack. No, don't worry about flaws. This is good. I mean, you probably used a reference. Otherwise, it's very impressive because this is that's an angle on a horse head. I probably couldn't pull off. No, it's good. It's recognizable for what it is. It's a very tricky underside of a horse head that interestingly I've never drawn that, and I've talked about using thick lines to sort of underscore the impression intended. Well, take it as a compliment, unless you were tracing, which this is about the minimum I'd expect. But listen, whatever helps you learn. But hopefully no tracing was involved. I don't endorse it. However, I don't condemn it either. Let's see here. You posted two things. This complicated though. Let's see here. So this looks cool. This looks like it's from Heinrich Clay. Did I guess right? I know I'm dropping You don't know who that is? Heinrich Clay? You sure about that? Let's see here. This guy? Alligators, elephants. Alligators and elephants in the same picture, literally. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Maybe you're kindred spirits. Was it from imagination? You were watching Tom and Jerry. Oh, I love Tom and Jerry. Is that something that happened in the Tom and Jerry cartoon? An elephant biting a... And listen, I don't care. Like, you know, I draw from anything that interests me. What's this? We've got crocodiles waltzing with polar bears. Look at all this stuff. But that's what I mean in like Fantasia is very much inspired by these works, you know? Pushing and squishing, pulling and squishing. Good. Well, I know it's not the first time I've recommended the animation book. Classic Disney, yeah. The classic Disney look is nothing other than what preceded it, which is nothing other than what preceded it. And that's where you find the Heinrich Clay, or Klee, or Klei, or I wouldn't know how to pronounce his name, but well, let's go back to your image here. This is fun, you know. Can I ask though, find a less sloppy way of describing your silhouettes with like the way that it feels like you're mixing two things. The linear quality here in your lines is good, but then you've sort of like blunted it by this sort of haphazard application of the tone. And I know that there's like artistic styles that like do that, but you've done one of these well and one of them not well. And the line art is good, and the toning, as far as like where it's like spilling out over the edges, you're not adding anything to it. By, do you see what you're doing? Like especially up here. Up here, you're just like introducing all this information, going up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down, and none of that has to do with anything with what's happening in like the story. And it's just something I'd watch out for. and it's tricky being like, well, what am I adding to every darn little stroke or whatever that I'm doing? But like, that's art. You have to think about all that stuff. But this is really cool. This is a I think this is cool. Look at this cool, like, fun S-curve. This is a we've got this S-curve here and this S-curve here. All right, I'm gonna look at this. Here, I'm gonna do something. What can I do? This is not. Okay, I'm gonna hold up the lamp of interrogation. All right, you cannot lie to me. All right, you cannot lie to me. Did you trace? Did you reference this, or was this from your imagination? You must tell me. It's not a big deal, but you know, it's more impressive if it's from your imagination. You did something creative, you know. That's cool if you did. All right, I'm gonna set this aside. Used reference of the animals from behind, but you put them together. Obviously, the crocodile wasn't biting the thing. So that's, I mean, we all take inputs, but it's how you put them together. That's the point. That's very cool. And I see what you did with the you sort of underscored the line weights, you know. Still need to improve. That never goes away. But let me tell you what. Okay, so do you see what I have on screen right now? Okay, the image is in a thumbnail. You can see it here. It's right here. Right? You see that thumbnail? Okay, so that's what your viewer sees. So your viewer, you can make a 400,000 DPI image, but what your viewer actually sees with their eye, because your fovum, or whatever it is, the part of your eyeball that actually inputs photons, is like the size of the head of a pin, practically. Okay, it's incredibly small. So you have to think of everything that people actually see as being more or less encapsulated into something that is millimeters wide. Your image, therefore, is shrunken down and condensed into the first read is something that is the size of a postage stamp at best. That's the biggest it could possibly be. Ironically, the IMAX resolution is actually in our eyeballs shrunken down to like the size of like a pea, you know. So what to be understood at a glance, not just at a glance, but in a flash at a glance, okay? Not with, no quicker could you say look than you would see it and understand it. And if you saw it and you understood it, you would get it. And if you saw it but you didn't understand it, you might start to say like, well, was I supposed to get it? You know, look at what you see in the thumbnail. To me, I see a clear silhouette of a crocodile. That's clear. But the way you sort of blurped out the silhouette of the elephant, just always do two things. Squint and back up. Shrink your image. It needs to read from across a room. If you can make your artwork look amazing from across the room, people won't care what it looks like when they get up close. They'll tell you it's brilliant. You just take your glasses off. You know, my mom used to do that. She would put one contact lens in and leave the other one out. And she would go to painting class and she would just go like this. You know, when she wanted detail, she would squint, get the other one. Sort of a weird hack. It's the silhouettes, but the silhouette is strong on the crocodile or the alligator, whatever it is. But it's not strong on the elephant where you've blurped out all these edges unnecessarily. It just looks like you spilled ink all over the place. You did great with the shadows. You did great with the lines. But then when you came into filling the tone, you sort of discounted it unnecessarily for yourself. What's interesting is I'm actually seeing right now that you have a different... Are these different colors? Yeah, the crocodile is a slightly different color, right? No, don't study the elephants more. Just cut out your silhouettes better. That's what I'm telling you. Your animal studies are excellent. This looks good. But don't make it so that people have to... Okay. People like me that are colorblind can't see the difference between the two things at once. So if you need that to be readily available, you would need to make that stronger. In this case, the two things are connected. So I didn't even care that they were not or were, whether they were or weren't different colors. That wasn't a factor. It was just something don't worry about color. Just think about values. And then and I think you picked the right ones. But yeah. I have a pretty bad red-green color blindness, so I couldn't tell if this was the difference between green or brown. But I could tell this was cooler. Don't worry about it too much, but it was like, if it was me, like, see all this negative space where the trunk is? Just make that negative space. You don't have to fill that in with tone. No, I'm not, like, disabled with my color blindness, but it's a thing I run into sometimes. But by designing your images for the silhouette, it's just compositional awareness. It's just compositional awareness. When you are too close to an image, like you're designing it, you're so close to it, right? You lose your objectivity. But, like, do yourself a favor. Before you sign off on something, put it across the room. And then look at it and be like, are the silhouettes reading? What's popping? What do I see that is recognizable? And then also, like, marry someone who will tell you their honest opinion about something without sugarcoating it. Because... you know, if everybody who looks at your stuff tells you it's amazing, you couldn't possibly change it. Yeah, relationships, yeah, that's a hard mode in life, but that's an important lesson too. You can't get what you want by yourself. Anyway. These are great studies. All right. Well, what's your story? What are you going to do? My forensics and psychologies. Avoid relationships till after uni? Yeah, because you have to be dedicated to the cult of university. No, I'm just kidding. No, that makes sense. There are exceptions, but I think it is smart to... No, it's not a cult. I'm just joking, but... The, no, one challenge at a time? Yeah, maybe. All right. Okay, well, I'm not going to go too much longer. Maybe I'm going to think about... Here, how about I try to... Your grandma used to be an oil painter before her hands became unsteady. Yeah. Well, you know what I would do is own it. Unsteady hands are interesting. But, you know. It's theoretically a bad when you're on your home right now. An environmental piece. Okay. Environmental. I'm trying to think now. I don't think I've seen a lot of background work. So for this piece, the bad guy is a dragon. It's a kind of green dragon, which I guess is like a sentient, like they can talk, they can deceive, they can hypnotize and do crazy things. Nothing I know anything about. I'm not a Dungeons and Dragons guy, but I'm learning. Oh yeah, I'll swap it back, sorry. It literally just occurred to me. People keep telling me to use the wand and selection and bucket tools for filling, which is neat, but I feel like hand-brushed feel for environments. Yeah, I never use the bucket tool. Don't take that as an endorsement, but that's the silhouette, right? It's possibly cool. I don't need to nail it right now. The whole point actually is that it's not that it's the point, but the story for their Dungeons and Dragons adventure started out with a dragon that had like deceived them. They didn't know it was a dragon. The dragon like used magic to basically frame them for this giant destructive act. And it was terrible for them. People died and they took the blame, and then the rest of their Dungeons and Dragons adventure was about, let's find this dragon and get our revenge. And so that's sort of the thing, is this evil dragon. And I asked them, I was like, so what does this dragon look like? And they're like, well, I don't know what it looks like. So. The silhouette is so important for everything. I like to use this analogy. This was several years ago, and my cats are long dead now, but they at the time my cats were alive, and this was for Halloween, and we were cutting out silhouettes to tape to the white walls that we had in our old apartment. Oh no, I won't be back on later, but I'm gonna ramble anyway, so check it out if you want to. I'll put it on YouTube eventually. Have a good night. But the story is that my wife was like, okay, cut out a bunch of silhouettes. She gave me all this black construction paper. And like, I was just sort of being lazy. But I wanted to do what she told me to, but also sort of be lazy at the same time. And I was just like, well, maybe I can just quickly cut out the silhouette of a black cat without thinking about it too much. What if I could just do that? Well, I sat down and with a large piece of black construction paper, just in one go, cut out the damn near perfect silhouette of a cat. It's like a side view of the cat. It sort of looked like this. Probably like this. That looks like a dog too much, but there we go. It's like that. You gotta squint so you see it like an animal would. It was something like that, But I sat down, cut it out, and I was pretty impressed with it. I was like, okay, that's a good little kitty cat silhouette. But then I was like, what is it good? I don't know. I was like, I gotta check, see how it looks good from a distance. So I went and I put it on. I taped it to the floor against the baseboard. I took a step back. I squinted out. I'm like, yeah, it looks pretty good. Well, just about then, my actual living cat comes around the corner, sort of waking up from a nap. And he's like walking all slow. He's just waking up. He's like, I'm going to get a snack. And he looks. And he's like, he freezes in his tracks. And he sees the silhouette of the cat across the room. And it's not a real cat. It's just a silhouette. It's cardboard. It's 2D. But cats, much like humans, have imaginations. A lot of animals do. And he was captivated. He froze. And he's like, that cat over there. He sees me. That's why he's frozen. So there was this sort of like tense standoff of not moving. Like, who's going to move first? Eventually, my cat sort of gets suspicious. He's like, what if that cat is fucking not real? Or something. What if I'm going crazy? He steps out, gets brave, gets curious, starts to investigate. And eventually approaches and sniffs it out. Because it's not a real cat. It's just a silhouette. But just the silhouette was enough. From across the room, a silly doofus of a cat was convinced that danger was real. It's not just about adding detail. Sometimes it's about suppressing the detail, controlling. By concentrating on the silhouette, and nothing else, sort of forced my cat to fill in the blanks with his imagination. And the thing about our imaginations is that they are limitless in resolution, and scale. It's everything technology would want to be able to bring to the equation. Our imaginations already do it perfectly. Here's a quick fairly competent quick stab at it. Theoretically, we need some wings, but those can be on a separate layer. Still, let's try to introduce them. This is a bit one note. What does that look like? Wings work. Sort of easier if they aren't there entirely, but not. There's an earlier sketch I did where the wings are just sort of up. Can I get away with that? maybe we can. I want nothing to be there. Feels decently complete. something like this is mostly ticking the marks for me, but I'll admit that I want to defer. Final judgments. That basically ticks the marks without introducing too many new problems, but luckily I don't have to solve it tonight. Alright, that's good enough for now. Turn all these other things back on. Well, we've managed a pretty quiet stream. Canceled. It's because no because people need to sleep on a Sunday night, and I am no exception. Yeah. Sort of funny, the dragon is sort of behind them all, but also sort of needs to be in front. It's kind of tricky. Anyway, this is good for now. All right. Blessedly a All right, good enough. Now, I say bye-bye. All right, catch you next time. Adios.